You are the king of choma, by the way, Nyama Choma. You're amazing. When we come over, I always enjoy your choma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you listen to the Hot Breakfast this morning? Here's what you missed.
All she wanted to do was run. It's like Forrest Gump. She just wanted to run. And she ran the 400 meters like you'd never believe it. As she finishes that race, there's just happened to be some scouts around. They saw her and they said, "No, you're not a runner. You're a model." And the rest, as they say, is history. Ajuma Nasenyana started modeling back in 2003. She took part in Miss Tourism Kenya competition, which she was crowned in Nairobi. In 2005, she was voted among the world's 10 most beautiful women. She's recently just come back. She's still modeling. She's still out there, and she's doing something even more that she likes. She's giving back to society, which is the most incredible thing. Giving back in a big way, especially, the last couple of years have been hell for most people. She is giving back in a big way, and she'll tell us all about it. But folks, you need to remember this name and remember it forever. Because this woman literally not only changed the face of modeling in Kenya, but changed the way people viewed models and the industry. Ajuma Nasenyana. It's been a minute. How are you?
I know, right? We have a story. It's a lot of stories we need to catch up on.
Indeed.
Yes.
Great to see you. So, did you always know you were a model?
Do you know what? Even before we get into that, I have something to say.
Go on.
And I can't believe I'm going to say this on live radio, because especially as a Turkana, because I think my clan will come for me. You are the king of choma, by the way, Nyama Choma. You're amazing. When we come over, I always enjoy your choma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Turkanas will come after us.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's good times, huh? Good times.
Very good.
Good times. So, how did it all begin?
You were asking if I've always wanted to be a model?
Yes.
Not really. I didn't believe I could be one, because the beauty standards when I was growing up was not my look. So that is not something I really believed that I could be. So no, I didn't believe I could be one. So no, I never really thought.
Yeah.
No, I never really always wanted to be a model.
But you had those running skills.
Of course. Could run fast, yeah.
And okay, so when you won that 400 meters or whatever that was, and did they come? What did they come to you? What did they say?
I was actually on the newspaper, and then they approached me. They approached me and told me, you know what, you can make a career in modeling. I'm like, no. I don't think I can, because I don't believe that I'm beautiful, because that's what has been, because I'm dark and tall. Yeah. Of course, that was not the ultimate beauty standard here. So I didn't even really believe it. But then in the end, they really pushed for it, and I decided to give it a go. And I went to Paris, and it just was crazy. I got so many bookings that I was like, okay, I got a bit comfortable, because of course running was so painful. It was just like walking down the runway and I get paid, so that's cool. Yeah.
Did you have any idea a girl from Turkana is in Paris?
It was beyond my wildest dreams. I couldn't even, that is true. I used to sleep in my French class, because I used to be like, when am I ever gonna find myself in like Europe even, or even close to there. Then all of a sudden I'm just like, bonjour, and that's all I knew. So I was like, oh my gosh, I should have stayed awake in my French class. If I knew this, I'd end up in Paris. Yeah.
Good Lord. So there you are, you're doing show after show after show.
Yes.
It must be dizzying for you at that point.
It's crazy. And then, I was new. I just came from, I had never left Kenya. And then all of a sudden you're in these big cities. All you get is an itinerary and a train ticket and a map. So I used to get lost so much. In the beginning, I would have like 7 castings. And maybe I wouldn't even make one because I was just lost in Paris somewhere. But eventually, I became so good. I mean, I was really, really good at navigating myself through the different cities in the world. Yeah.
And there were no people to help you, no fellow models to help you.
Sometimes you run into a model on the street, or like, oh, where are you going? Sometimes they're going to your casting, or maybe they're going to a different casting. So it was just like that. Yeah, you just had to tough it out and work it out.
A lot of jealousies in that business.
No, yeah.
And how did they treat you, Ajuma? Some of this tall, dark African woman, how did they treat you?
The funniest thing was, over here at home, I was always like shunned down on because of my dark skin tone. But when I was out there, my goodness, I was so appreciated. Everybody was just like telling me how beautiful I was. All of a sudden I was in Times Square, I was on magazines, I was everywhere. So my look was embraced out there. I felt more embraced when it came to, my look, yes. Than at home.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, that's a turnaround because the amount of confidence you have to have, to get someone to take a picture of you and then you're on a billboard somewhere. That must have been like a, life-changing moment.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. Yeah, it was. I think it was because, of course, like I said, I couldn't believe that. I didn't believe I was beautiful, and all of a sudden, I'm, on Times Square. It was mind-blowing, definitely.
Did you, at one point, did you want to stop? Did you want to give it up? Was it too much? Was it too...
Okay, so this is what happens out there. It's all noise and glam and so on, but it's also lonely because the thing is that I'm very grounded when it comes to social life, right? I come from Turkana. I have very strong roots and ties to my community and my culture and also my values. So it really felt like I didn't really fit into all the hype and so on. I'm very real, by the way. I think you know that. So I really didn't fit into the hype and so on. And then also the fact that like now, like what's going on, what has been trending like the past 2 years or something, there was really not equal opportunity when it came to black and white models, So it reached a point where I felt like, you know what, maybe I wanted to step back a bit and venture into the entrepreneurship industry because I felt it was more secure financially as well. So I stepped back, did my thing, set up my business, had my babies, and then I came back now when I was a bit more stable and and secure. Yeah, and now it's even better than before.
You've just come back from the Valentino.
Yes, yeah, just a few days ago. Yes, just like 4 days ago.
What was that like?
It was amazing. Imagine there was like 5 Kenyan girls in the show.
What?
Yeah, it was not even about the race issue only. There was also diversity in body shapes, sizes, even age. We had a 70-year-old walk the show as well. Wow. So it was just fantastic because the opportunities are like the industry is opening up opportunities for a more diverse for diversity, not only when it comes to race, but also in the other different areas as well. Yes.
Right. So when you're not walking the runway, you decided, you know what, I'm going to start the Ajuma Foundation.
So the thing with me is that the beginning of my life was very humble because I was born by a teenage mother, right, who didn't have anything, and we were more or less roaming around the village homeless. And I was taken in by a Swedish family, who were a doctor family that was stationed in my village in Lodwar, and they actually helped me and my mother put my mother back in school, and also like just helped me to grow up, put me in boarding school, like affluent boarding schools, the British system boarding schools, and then that is why they gave me a dignified life, right? So I've always felt that obligation to go back because just the difference between my life and my friends who are left behind, and my cousins, just my general family, was so big, right? I was I had this opportunity where I had everything, while whoever I left back, they had nothing. My friends were walking barefoot. They were sitting under trees to go to school, to class. They didn't even have writing notebooks for writing in school. They were writing on sand and everything. So it's always, like, as a child, going back and seeing that, it's always haunted me, and I've always felt, there's strong obligation to go back and give. Yeah. So eventually, when I moved back home to establish myself at home, I started a foundation, the Ajuma Foundation. I started off with just mentorship. That was the resources I had at the time. Then slowly, I started handing out sanitary pads to keep the girls in school. I also didn't want to leave out the refugee. Of course, we have one of the biggest refugee camps situated in Turkana, and I was a part of the host community, so I didn't want to leave them out as well. So I went into the refugee camp, and I used to give them what do you call it? Skill-based program, where they're able to become entrepreneurs, just make their lives more lucrative instead of sitting back and just waiting for handouts from the United Nations. So that's what I did. But with the pandemic, I just felt like, what, now that there is no, with the economic crisis, parents are going to have to choose between either feeding the child or buying school writing material to keep the child in school. What would you do? You'd keep the child alive, of course, and buy food and let them sit back at home, right? So I decided to come in order for me to keep the children, in school. I decided to fundraise for writing material, because I feel, and especially in the rural communities, in the pastoralist communities specifically, that's where I was focusing on, and because we are so far behind when it comes to literacy. So I fundraised, and then I decided, why go and buy books in the shop, right? I can, they promote so much Western culture, which is, Disney and Marvel. We have our own rich, beautiful culture that, why not embrace that? So I animated myself on the cover of the books in our different cultures. So far, I have five cultures, but I'm going through the rest of the cultures. So I've animated myself in different cultures. At the back, I have greetings in the particular tribe that is on the cover, because when I'm out there, I'm able to show the kids what a Turkana looks like, what a Kikuyu looks like, what a Maasai looks like, because a lot of them out there, they don't really have access to information to the rest of Kenya, and that is why I feel like there's so much tension within our tribes, because what you don't know, you'll definitely be afraid of. So I'm trying to promote unity in the head of elections. I'm also trying to get the younger generation to embrace our different cultures, because I'm trying. There's no better way to achieve a united Kenya rather than from the younger generation. So that is my goal: provide free writing material to keep the children in school, and also get our people to unite by embracing each other.
Wow, this is incredible. So far, these are 4 or 5.
No, there are 5 tribes.
Yeah, with your face on them.
Yes.
Adorned in the various tribal.
Yes, and then I also have one for little ones. Okay, so I started distributing. It took me a year, by the way, to create the illustration.
Wow.
And then I started distributing 2021, right? In January. So far, but from 2021 to December, we reached 12,000 children.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we went through Turkana County, Samburu County, Isiolo County, Kwale County, and then second round we did West Pokot County, Wasingishu County, Machakos County, Kajiado County. And then this time round, we're going to start in Narok. We're going to go to Bomet, Nandi, Baringo. and then we do a little bit in Nakuru. So we're getting through Kenya slowly but surely. Every child has to,
Absolutely. And
we have to keep every child in school.
Sure. You identify the schools and the kids. You do
yes,
all the
we do.
team.
We do the most neediest schools. That's the ones we identify. Seriously, Jeff, some of those schools, there is no roads. Those are the ones we like.
Yeah.
It takes hours for us to find the school, but we get there. It's in the middle of nowhere. Children have nothing to eat. You find there's 2 classrooms from class 1 to class 8. The same, 2. The same, like in one classroom, there's like maybe 4 different classes in one classroom. The teachers are shouting across each other. Kids are on the floor. I mean, the floor has, the cemented floors has potholes. How do you put your book on the floor and start? You can't even. It's not an adequate service for the children to write. No food. Kids are starving. I mean, it's insane. It's really terrible out there.
And you wonder where the CDF goes, huh? You wonder where all this money for schools
It's so horrible,
don't you? You just wonder what went wrong.
Yeah, I really do. When I'm out there, I really, and I'm one person, and what I'm giving is writing material. So it feels so bad to go and give a child a book, and the child is starving. They don't have shoes. I mean, it's or water. It's just insane. You leave there with such a heavy heart, even though you've helped in a way. Yeah. So, anyways, we've gotten through those counties. Firstly, I started organically, just between me, my friends, and my family. We raised a bit of funds. I came and did the first round. After the first round, we captured attention of different supporters. For example, like Cheaper Cash and City Walk were coming to provide the children shoes. We are getting there. Yeah, slowly but surely.
You're getting the support.
Yeah, I'm getting the support from corporates, like I said, Cheaper Cash, and also City Walk. But of course, I need more support. Because there's so many challenges out there. Like, for example, when it comes to water, I need support with from sanitation companies. When it comes to classrooms and toilets and and kitchens, of course, I need support in that. Also, from if there was any other, construction companies, for example, and I don't know. It's really hard.
How do people get in touch with the Ajuma Foundation?
We're on social media, on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, obviously, and also we can put out whoever wants to reach out on those social media platforms, and we can take it from there.
Look, the one most serious thing about some of the regions you talk about is security.
Yes,
especially Turkana, Samburu, Isiolo, that whole triangle.
Yes.
How do you feel when you're out there? Do you feel safe?
Yes, when it comes to Turkana, I can navigate myself. I know the safe areas, and I know what to do if I go into somewhere where I don't feel like I'm going to be safe. But then the thing is, it's so funny because Turkana and Pokot, they're rivals, right? So I was so nervous going into Pokot, because as a Turkana, because what we've been fed like ever since we were small, it's like if a Pokot finds you, they'll slash your throat. If a Turkana finds a Pokot, they'll do the same, right? So when I was going in there, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is so scary. I don't know how they're gonna receive me as a Turkana, but I'll show you the video later. Hey, I was received like with dance and cheers, and oh my gosh, it was really mind-blowing. It's so amazing.
This is a Netflix movie right here.